On News Hour tonight, Inferno gets popular Kano market, traders count losses. 20-year-old accused of killing father's stepmother in Jos. Onisha traders obey Soludo, reopen shops. And on the foreign scene, Guinea-Bissau junta frees opposition leader, promises inclusive rule. Hello there, a very good evening. It's good to have you join us on News Hour tonight. I am Fatima Abbas Hassan. Now, an Abuja-based rising singer, Efunanya Nwageni, death from snake bite has sparked renewed concern over emergency medical response in Nigeria's Federal Capital Territory. The incident occurred at Trademore Estate, Lugbe in Abuja on Saturday. Efforts to obtain an interview from the Federal Medical Center, where she was taken for treatment and later died, were unsuccessful as of the time of filing this report. However, residents of the estate share their thoughts in this report, put together by Tentel Azal.
Residents of Trademore Estate in Lugbe, where the incident occurred, say snake sightings are common in the area, attributing the problem to a nearby river close to Lugbe Phase 1. In separate interviews, residents expressed fear over the increasing presence of snakes within residential buildings and called for urgent intervention by relevant authorities.
The only reason that I know is bringing snake inside your house, killing you and leaving your house with dirty everywhere like bush. Some people, because they're not even concerned about their bush. Maybe they're thinking like wasting their time, go killing their house or do something. So that thing used to be there. Not only snakes, many insects used to be in that thing. Yeah, I used to see snake because even inside this river, sometimes I used to see snake, this kind of water snake. We used to see snake on our back here in our bush. So sometimes we used to see snake.
The snake is when you leave your surrounding bushy. So the snake has the chance to come inside your compound.
A local snake handler, popularly contacted by residents whenever snakes are sighted in homes, revealed that many people unknowingly live in close proximity to snakes for several years.
I'm a snake handler. They call me to remove snakes in people's homes. When the place is cooled and has access, it enters even if the hole is small. It squeezes itself and enters. Sometimes you can stay in a house with a snake for over 10 years without knowing. It comes in and goes out quietly, and even when you step on it, if you don't show sign of fear, it runs away.
Speaking on the dangers of snake bites, a medical expert explained the effects of snake venom and outlined basic first aid measures that can be administered before victims are taken to the hospital. He also emphasized the need for hospitals to be better equipped to handle emergency cases such as snake bites.
I mean, from the time that bite came in, you will have just less than 10 minutes. Particularly if you talk about neurological venoms. And what I understood is that she even attempted applying tourniquet, so that the blood will not flow, because poisoning with all animals, including snakes, has something to do with the proximity between the part of the body that is being attacked to the heart, because the venom is being conducted by blood, and then once it gets to the heart, it could spread to very sensitive organs like brain, like the liver, and like the kidney. There are accident and emergency wards, kitted with necessary antidote and anti-venom in the event of bites like this. You have so many animal bites. Snake might just be one out of many. You also have like bee and wasps, bees that could also kill an individual on a farm or even in our houses. And you also have incidences of poisons and poisonings, you know, due to organophosphates and what have you. Accident and emergency wards, be it a public health facility, a veterinary clinic, a veterinary hospital, must have the antidotes ready so that we can do best what we have been called to do, saving lives.
The tragic death of Ifunanya Nwangene has once again brought attention to environmental safety concerns and the preparedness of emergency medical services in the nation's capital, as residents call for urgent action to prevent future occurrences. Tanti Aza, Trust TV, Abuja.
In the meantime, authorities in Kano have confirmed that an electrical spark is suspected to have triggered the fire outbreak that occurred early Monday morning at Mazav House in the popular Singa Market along Bello Road. Although no lives were lost, 2 people sustained injuries when part of the burning building collapsed. The blaze, which broke out at about 3:30 a.m., destroyed shops and goods worth billions of naira, leaving traders scrambling to salvage what they could. Our correspondent Abdulaziz Ibrahim brings us more.
Singa Market in Kano is a major hub for the distribution of household goods across northern Nigeria and neighboring countries. There were no recorded fatalities in the incident. However, 2 individuals were trapped when this building collapsed during the fire. They sustained injuries and are currently receiving treatment at a medical facility. Traders in surrounding shops rushed frantically to salvage and secure their merchandise as the fire spread. Officials say the fire, which started at about 3:30 a.m., has since been successfully contained. The tears of shop owners reflect the depth of the losses suffered in the inferno. The leadership of Singa Market has described the incident as devastating, noting that traders incurred massive financial losses.
Actually, we are sad and we are aghast. So we just wake up this early in the morning around 3:30, and we have heard that the fire got this part of our market. And this fire incident, it is a terrible one actually. And if you can look at it, there is a lot of damage and of property and even the stocks in the area, the goods in the area. So we lose a lot actually. We lose a lot. So for now, we cannot ascertain the exact value of the loss, but it is a matter of billions of naira actually.
We've been working with our counterparts from the state fire service and other private fire services to see that the fire has been contained. And alhamdulillah, so far, what we are doing now is damping, because the fire has been contained successfully. There is no record of any loss of life, but while this building you can see behind me was about to collapse, 2 people were trapped, and they sustained degrees of injuries. They are currently receiving treatment in the medical facility. But from what we are able to gather, the fire started as a result of an electrical spark.
The incident has once again highlighted the urgent need to strengthen fire safety measures in markets and other public places. Abdulaziz Ibrahim, Trust TV News, Kano.
And from Kano, we take you to Jos, the Plateau State capital, where a 20-year-old man, Ibrahim Mutari, has allegedly killed his father's 70-year-old stepmother, Hawa Abubakar, in Mbola community of Jos North local government area of the state. Trust TV reports that residents of the community, alongside divisional police officers from the Laranto Divisional Police Office, converged on the residence of the deceased following the incident. Our correspondent Ado Musa has the details.
The incident occurred at about 3 p.m. and has drawn the attention of young and old men and women within and outside the community. Sympathizers have condemned the killing, with many calling on relevant authorities to take immediate action to ensure justice for the victim. The husband of the deceased, Abubakar Shuaibu, described the incident as cruel and inhuman. He accused the suspect, Ibrahim Mutari, of attacking, strangling and stabbing his wife with a knife before fleeing the scene. We were not at home when the incident happened, but there are two people we suspect had a hand in the killing. They live in the same house with the deceased. The suspect, Ibrahim, had earlier fought with the deceased son and was injured. We took him to the hospital and took care of him. After that incident, he vowed to take revenge for what happened to him. One of the children of the deceased, Ahmed, also accused Ibrahim of killing their mother. She alleged that prior to the killing, the suspect had threatened to take revenge following a fight between him and their elder brother, Musa.
Ibrahim and our elder brother Musa fought last year, and in the process, Musa stabbed him in the stomach. He was rushed to the hospital. While in the hospital, Ibrahim vowed to take revenge on either the deceased children or their mother. And today, he has carried out his threat. A nurse even warned us that his utterances were dangerous and advised us to be careful. The deceased was his caregiver and took care of him until he was discharged. But despite her kindness, he went ahead and killed her.
Trust TV reports that the suspect father was raised by the deceased after his biological mother died when he was still a child. Hawa Abubakar reportedly cared for him until adulthood. In return, the suspect father took her into his home and treated her as a mother until his death. The suspect is currently at large. Effort to get a reaction from the Plateau State Police Command spokesperson, SP Alabo Alfred, proved unsuccessful, as he is yet to respond to inquiries regarding the incident. Ado Musa, Trust TV News, Jos.
And in a separate development, a high court in Nasarawa State has sentenced Saidu Idi to death by hanging for armed robbery and culpable homicide. The report.
The judgment was delivered on Monday by the Chief Judge of the state, Justice Aisha Muhammad Usman. Saidu Idi was arraigned on a 3-count charge of criminal conspiracy, armed robbery, and culpable homicide in connection with an incident that occurred in 2015. While the court discharged him on the charge of criminal conspiracy, it found him guilty of armed robbery and culpable homicide. The Attorney General of the Nasarawa State and Commissioner for Justice, Isaac Danladi, who prosecuted the case, described the ruling as a landmark decision. He noted that the trial lasted about 11 years, during which both the prosecution and the defense were given ample opportunity to present their arguments. According to Danladi, the victim, a herdsman, was attacked in the Kopuna area of a local government in the state. Evidence presented before the court showed that the killing occurred before the robbery. He said the judgment would serve as a deterrent to criminal elements.
The victim was actually an RO somewhere around Kokona local government, and he was attacked by the defendant, the third defendant for that matter, that's Saidu Ali, and of course he was shot on the navel and he was dispossessed of his valuable property as well as some amount of money.
However, Defense Counsel Chidi Okori Kano faulted the judgment and announced plans to challenge it at the appellate court, citing alleged inconsistencies in the prosecution's case.
We are not satisfied, so we appeal against it. We are not. The next move is that we're going to study the judgment and we're going to take it upstairs to test the propriety or otherwise of what the court gave today against our clients.
The public will now be watching closely as the case progresses, following the different reactions from both legal teams and the court's verdict.
And still from the judiciary, Justice Joy Abdulmalik of the Federal High Court, Abuja, has ordered that the 9 suspects arrested over the killing in Yelwata, Benue State, be remanded at Kuje Correctional Center pending the trial. The federal government arraigned the suspects on Monday. Leading the prosecution for the arraignment of 9 suspects was the Attorney General of the Federation and Minister of Justice, Lateef Fagbemi, SAN. The suspects were arraigned on a 57-count charge. They pleaded not guilty when the counts were read to them through an interpreter. The AGF asked for an accelerated trial, and the defendants were remanded at a correctional center pending the commencement of the trial. Counsel for the 1st, 8th, and 9th defendants asked for an oral application for bail. The AGF said 8 witnesses were ready to testify at the trial. The case was adjourned to February the 26th and 27th for the trial.
You can make an accusation, but the important thing is you have the onus of proof beyond reasonable doubt. I can say you did this, you stole this, you did that, but you have to prove beyond reasonable doubt. So we're not concerned about the number of charges. Let us get to the issue of proof. If you can prove beyond reasonable doubt. So we're not worried with the number of charges.
In the meantime, Justice Emmanuel Subelim of the National Industrial Court has issued an interim order restraining the Nigeria Labour Congress, NLC, Trade Union Congress, TUC, and 3 others from embarking on any form of industrial action or protest. Ruling on an ex parte application filed by the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, and the FCT administration, Justice Subelim granted an interim order restraining the 1st to 5th respondents and their privies or agents from embarking on strike pending the hearing of the motion on notice. He also ordered the 5th, 9th defendants, who are security agencies, to ensure no breakdown of law and order. The ex parte motion, which was filed by counsel to Wike and the FCTA, Ogu Onoja, submitted that the chairman of the FCT Council had sent a message of mobilization to members and affiliated unions for a mass protest scheduled for the 3rd of February. This move, he noted, is a violation of the orders of court. Meanwhile, the Federal Capital Territory Police Command has urged the Nigerian Labour Congress, NLC, and the trade union, TUC, to postpone their planned protest in the nation's capital, citing security concerns. The FCT chapter of the NLC and TUC had scheduled a peaceful solidarity protest for Tuesday in support of the Joint Union Action Committee. The unions announced the protest in a joint statement signed by the General Secretary of the NLC, Benson Ukpa, and the Secretary General of the TUC, Nuhu Toro, in Abuja. The planned solidarity protest is in support of the ongoing strike by workers of the Federal Capital Development Authority, FCDA, under the leadership of JUAC, over unpaid salaries and other entitlements. The industrial action has pitched FCT workers against the Minister of the Federal Capital Territory, Nyesom Wike, as they seek to draw government attention to their demands. However, in a statement issued on Monday, the Police Public Relations Officer of the FCT Command, SP Josephine Ade, said intelligence reports indicate plans by the proscribed Islamic Movement of Nigeria and other non-state actors to infiltrate and hijack the protest, posing a threat to public peace and security. She therefore appealed to the protest organizers to consider rescheduling the demonstration in the interest of public safety. And traders at the Onitsha main market have resumed business after a one-week shutdown following directives from the Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo. The reopening comes amid heightened security measures and warnings against compliance with the indigenous people of Biafra sit-at-home orders. The market was previously ordered closed by Soludo after reports suggested that some traders were following a Monday sit-at-home call by IPOB. The governor had warned that failure to reopen could lead to further closures. A visit to the market revealed that many traders were back as early as 8:45 in the morning, setting up wares from Agaton to Ose Foodstuffs Market and the Young Park, a major entrance to the main market. Observers noted that areas including Emeka Ofo Plaza, Sokoto Road, Lagos Line, and Marine were active, with customers beginning to patronize shops.
We see the way you are smiling now.
Yes, I'm very happy. I'm very happy. So people are coming out massively. People now, maybe around 7:30 to 8. So from 9 to 10 now, people are rushing in. So I'm very happy.
Main market on the shop. I am shopping to tell you that the market is open. I am shopping to buy the tool at main market Oka. All main market on the shop, all the way from Oka. Soludo decision is wonderful and fantastic. Sit at home is gone and is gone.
Meanwhile, the Anambra State Governor Chukwuma Soludo on Monday visited the Onitsha main market to confirm its reopening days after threatening to shut the market for 1 month and reposed the area if traders continue to observe the Monday sit-at-home practice. The visit followed warnings by the state government that persistent closure of markets under the guise of sit-at-home amounted to economic sabotage and will no longer be tolerated. During the visit, Soludo interacted with traders and residents, inspected stalls, and supervised activities across different sections of the market.
The main market is now open for the first time after 5 years. I'm going there to buy a few things. I will go to the other emergency line. Now, I will come to your shed. You can shed your shed. I will come to your shed. Ono manabu monyo tu. Ono makanabu monyo tu. Oh, you to know about. Thank you very much. Thank you. Imejuleju. Imejuleju. Hey, mbaka nabia, agmabia say.
And the indigenous people of Biafra, IPOB, has said that the total compliance with Monday's sit-at-home order in parts of the southeast has demonstrated that the people will never be intimidated into abandoning the group's leader, Nnamdi Kanu. The sit-at-home declared by IPOB in solidarity with traders of Onitsha main market over the closure of their shops by Governor Chukwuma Soludo recorded a high level of compliance in Anambra State. Although the Onitsha main market was reopened by the government after the one-week closure, very few traders turned up. Also, major roads in the state were deserted and most offices and other businesses remained shut, particularly in the morning hours. It was also observed that many schools did not open. Reacting to the development in a statement, IPOB spokesman Ima Powerful, who said the sit-at-home recorded a total compliance, hailed residents of the southeast for demonstrating love for Nnamdi Kanu, leader of the indigenous people of Biafra. This is the News Hour on Trust TV. Coming up after the break. Katsina poultry farmers raise alarm over proposed Turkish agro project. More news when we return. Do stay with us. You're welcome back. If you're just joining us, this is the News Hour on Trust TV. Let's now take another look at our top stories once again. Inferno guts popular Kano market. Traders count losses. And 20-year-old accused of killing father's stepmother in Jos. And to other stories now. A tragic incident occurred on the 3rd Mainland Bridge in Lagos on Monday, leaving 6 people injured. The special advisor to the governor on transportation, Shola Giwa, confirmed the incident, saying that the accident involved a painted Volkswagen commercial bus. Giwa explained that the accident occurred on the 3rd Mainland Bridge, Adekule Corridor, inward Iyana, Oworon Shoki. The governor's aide disclosed that preliminary investigations revealed that the fully loaded commercial bus was also carrying several household effects as at the time of the incident. According to him, the vehicle suffered brake failure, adding that as a result, the driver lost control of the vehicle, making the bus capsize onto its flank. Now, continuous deforestation, driven by the rising demand for charcoal and firewood, is raising fresh concerns in Niger State. Environmental experts warn that the practice is worsening the climate crisis and threatening forest sustainability across the state. Trust TV's Abubakar Akote has more on that report.
From Mina to rural communities across Niger State, trees are being felled daily to meet the growing demand for household cooking fuel. Trucks and motorcycles loaded with firewood and bags of charcoal line major roads and markets. The Zumba Weekly Firewood Market in Shiro local government area is one of the major firewood markets in the state. It attracts buyers from different parts of Niger State who purchase in bulk and resell at retail points. Beyond the rising cost of cooking gas, the mindset and beliefs of some families are also contributing to resistance to using gas for household cooking.
And not everybody gets money to buy fuel gas, and many people they fear to use gas for their house. So many, if it does say people will get family, big family, large family, may they use gas. Because go there possible. If they want cook big pots, if you cook them for gas. Because days.
We buy firewood from farmers in the hinterland, but trees are gradually becoming scarce due to security challenges. Farmers also find it difficult to go to the farms to cut and transport firewood to the market.
On every market day, my team will alone load at least 25 trucks of firewood. That does not include other groups of loaders.
I have been selling firewood for 20 years. Many households rush to buy firewood from me. I am grateful for the business. Most families prefer firewood to cooking gas because of children. Sometimes, children turn on the gas and fall asleep. Also, food cooked with firewood tastes better depending on demand. I sell at least 1 truckload of firewood.
Environmentalists warn that the continuous loss of trees is contributing to rising temperatures, soil erosion, and changing rainfall patterns in the state. They are calling for urgent action to protect the remaining forest and encourage the adoption of cleaner energy options.
What the government needs to do, and other private sectors to come in, is to subsidize this cooking stove and also move this thing. There's going to be an aggressive awareness on this cooking stove, because the cooking stove, there are cooking stoves that you just need to have briquettes. We have this briquette that we use from waste And these wastes are from agricultural waste. So you don't need to even cut down trees to produce. We have granite waste. After you remove your granite seed, you still have the waste. We have that rice straw. We have maize stalk. We have corn and the likes like that. And so many of those waste are there that they can convert into briquettes. The second one is this implementation of the policy for tree felling has to be decisive. Government has to come up with a kind of bottom-up approach, involving all stakeholders. And I remember there was an incident of a colleague that was in AB Uzaria during Mamman Kontawara, when he was the sole administrator. He sanctioned a lecturer for felling a tree that was already dried. He sanctioned him. He removed money from his salary that he couldn't pay until after 5 months or thereabout. But the lecturer appreciated that when he traveled abroad and see that you have to go and get a license from the authorities of government for you to be able to even fell down a dry tree that has dried up. So if those policies are there, when you fell one tree, you have to, before you get to fell a tree, you have to write the Ministry of Environment and Climate Change. They give you a permit with a license before and for you to do that, you have even to plant maybe 3 up to 5.
Stakeholders are also urging the government to enforce forest laws and make clean cooking energy more affordable and accessible to residents. Abubakar Akote, Trust TV News, Minna.
And from Minna, the Niger state capital, we take you to Katsina State, where poultry farmers have expressed deep concern and worry over their future, their livelihoods, and the fate of an industry many of them have built from the scratch. Their worry stems from the state government's proposed partnership with Turkish investors to establish a hatchery, egg production, and poultry feed factory in Katsina State, warning that the project could force local producers out of business. These concerns formed part of the resolutions reached at the second annual general meeting of the Katsina State chapter of the Poultry Farmers Association held on Sunday. Trust TV's Abdullah Yamadi reports from Katsina.
For these poultry farmers, this is more than just government policy. They say it is a matter of survival. They explained that the industry is already struggling under rising production costs, unstable markets, and harsh economic realities. Many of them argue that the decision to bring in foreign investors was taken without proper consultation with those whose lives depend on poultry farming. According to the association, dozens of farmers, some with decades of experience, have already been forced to shut down their businesses, leading to job losses, reduced income, and growing uncertainty for many families. The farmers fear that the proposed Turkish agro-industry could flood the market, dominate production, and weaken a sector that currently supports over 1 million people across the poultry value chain in Katsina State.
If the state chapters can be functional, are more proactive in whatever they're doing, a lot of things will change the way they want it. Nobody will come to your Katsina State and force you on how to do certain things. But when you work as a group, with the leadership in Katsina, I think whatever the farmers need, they will get it. And with cooperation with the national, every other thing will have a way out. This issue of prices of feed is not something that we need to bother ourselves on. It's private driven.
Besides that, we have several programs that will help our farmers, like this poultry summit, and then we are discussing with input suppliers to have at least each and every company will have a seminar at each year so that they can help our farmers on how to develop their farming and how to get a lot of profit in them.
While acknowledging the government's commitments to economic development, the farmers insist that what they need most is support, not competition. They are calling for policies that will make it easier to operate, access affordable input, and secure reliable markets. They also want the state government to establish a dedicated poultry market to help local producers grow, compete fairly, and remain relevant.
With regard to the new company coming to open business in Katsina, as far as we are concerned, we will try our best to make sure that all we're supposed to do to make sure that our members benefited from their services, we will do it. Especially with the recent change in the weather, as we all know. Previously, during the December, January, and March, you will find the northern part of Nigeria, our temperature is a bit cold compared to what we are experiencing now. So, with that regard, we will make sure that we use that opportunity to, I feel, to the incoming company to import the variety of chicks that will do well in our environment.
The farmers also reflected emotionally on a time when government stood firmly with them during the bird flu outbreak. They recalled the interventions of late Umar Musa Radwa and Ibrahim Shoshima, describing their actions as lifelines that helped prevent the industry from collapsing. The meeting ended on a solemn note with the presentation of a posthumous award to late former President Umar Musa Radwa in recognition of his lasting contributions to the poultry sector during his tenure as governor of Katsina State. For the farmers, the message is clear: protect the local poultry industry today or risk losing it forever. Abdullahi Ismail, Trust Television News, Katsina.
Many thanks, Abdullahi. And residents of Bauchi have expressed confidence in the quality of leadership that the state has produced over the years, despite current economic challenges and other pressing concerns. They made this known in an interview with Trust TV ahead of the state's 50th Golden Jubilee anniversary celebrations. Trust TV's Adamu Imam has the details.
Bauchi State, created in 1976 out of the former northeastern state by the military regime of late General Murtala Rahmat Muhammad. Residents describe the journey of Bauchi at 50 as remarkable, noting that the state has witnessed significant transformation in many areas, particularly in infrastructure and social development across communities. Many residents also applauded the efforts of both past and present leaders, especially in promoting peace, stability, and social inclusion, which they say will not go unnoticed.
Security, seriously, we can beat our chest to say that we thank God Bauchi is one of the peaceful states in Nigeria we have. Apart from that, even if we consider Bauchi as a what is called heterogeneous society, we have different ethnic groups in Bauchi. We are sitting together without any problem within ourselves. We have a very good, strong relationship with each other. Apart from that,
of the northeast, and that is not a lie, it's not a fluke, it's what it is in Bauchi, because when you come in, Bauchi has developed more than what you think it is. Before now, 20 years ago, the development you see today, you cannot compare it with what was obtainable 20 years ago. But then you still go to states that were created with the same time with Bauchi, this development is not there. In terms of agriculture also, Bauchi is one of the states, despite the fact that it's there, it has arable land, and of course it has been contributing to the agricultural aspect of Nigeria, and the whole of Northeast.
The governors of Bauchi State. So in that, if you look at it, if I could remember when we were little children, so from our own locality, that is in our neighborhood, we can spot winter. But now, even a kilometer, 1 kilometer, you cannot afford wherever you find yourself within the realm, within the locality of, or within the Bauchi metropolis. You cannot raise up your eye up to a kilometer and see it and see what is there because of the development and the capital development. You understand? So that is.
In terms of a lot of developmental projects, if you look at the state where it used to be before 50 years, there are not these structures that we are. Even the place we are hanging right now, it's not the same as it is 50 years ago. So there are a lot of progress. But what I'm going to say right now is not about celebration. It should be a call to order to our leaders. Let all stakeholders, our leaders, everybody to come together and think of the next 50 years to come. If we come together and work together, the next 50 years will be more.
Meanwhile, the state government, while unveiling a series of activities to mark the anniversary, said the celebration is an opportunity to reflect on Bauchi's heritage, reaffirm unity among its people, and renew commitment to inclusive growth and sustainable development. The government described the Golden Jubilee as a defining moment of joy, progress, and innovation for the state. Adam Imam, Trust TV News, Bauchi.
According to 2025 reports from the United Nations and other international bodies, Nigeria is facing a critically low and stagnant life expectancy, raising serious concerns about the country's healthcare system, worsening insecurity, and the growing impact of banditry and kidnapping. The reports have sparked renewed questions about how long Nigerians are expected to live. The report.
Amid Nigeria's worsening economic hardship and rising insecurity, the average Nigerian is now expected to live between 54.6 and 54.9 years, far below the global average of 73.7 years and lower than many other sub-Saharan African countries. According to 2025 data from the United Nations, Nigeria ranks among the countries with the lowest life expectancy rates in the world, followed closely by Chad, the Central African Republic, and South Sudan. Life expectancy in Nigeria also varies by gender and geography. Projections show that Nigerian women are expected to live slightly longer than men, with an average lifespan of 55.12 years compared to 54.45 years for males. In an interview with Trust Television, Lagos-based pharmacist Theodose Onyekachi explained two major biological factors that contribute to women's longer life expectancy.
This has to do with two major factors, and they are more like biological factor. One of the biological factor is the chromosomes. The woman has two chromosomes. The woman has two chromosomes, XX chromosome, while the man has two chromosomes as well, XY chromosome. Now, the extra X chromosome that a woman has in our genetic stuff gives her protection from dangerous mutation that could happen, and this thereby research have also shown that even the chromosome also increase their immunity. While the second biological factor is the hormone. The woman produces estrogen, and this estrogen also gives them cardiovascular protection before menopause.
There's all this fresh food. Then there's nothing like fertilizer. Maybe they're putting medicine so that the food they will consume will be coming out so fast so that they'll sell.
We have grown old now, we are not emphasizing on money too much. Secondly, all these our young couple, young children now, they are looking for what they know half at time, because they're supposed to work, they don't want to work, and they want to get money. You see the life? But by the time when we are on their age, we work very well, and we are not much emphasized on money. A lot of responsibilities are taken by the men, and most times their focus is to see that the families are doing well. And while doing this, most times they lost focus in taking care of themselves. You see a man waking up early in the morning, running out to see that the families are doing well. So men carries most of the responsibility of the family. And so while doing this, you forget yourself. So I think that's the reason why we have more death among early death in the men to the women. So most women are at home enjoying now. So the men are the ones bringing the money. They are carrying the responsibility. So somebody who is waking up every day, is running out, and expects the person to break down one day.
Health experts are also calling on young Nigerians, especially men, to stay away from hard drugs and excessive alcohol consumption, which have been identified as major contributors to early deaths among youths.
We have a lot of youths and young ones dying in Nigeria is due to, number one, addiction, drug abuse, alcohol abuse, and lack of even sleep. And research have shown that because of the social media age that we have now, a lot of youths, they don't even check up on themselves. They tend to stress themselves. They press their phone from morning till night. And apart from that, the major factor why we have younger people dying compared to older ones is drug abuse. Some of the youth we have nowadays, they take overdose of different drugs, even alcoholic drink, they take it, overdose of it, and this ends up going to damage some of their kidney, even the liver as well.
As Nigeria confirms these stark realities, experts warn that life expectancy is more than just statistics, but a reflection of the nation's overall well-being. They stress that for men in particular to live longer, greater attention must be paid to personal health through healthier lifestyles and regular medical checkups.
And for a bit of business now, a total of 1.969 trillion naira, being the December 2025 Federation account revenue, has been shared to the federal government, state governments and the local government councils. The revenue was shared at the January 2026 Federation Account Allocation Committee meeting held in Abuja. This was disclosed in a statement by the Director of Press and Public Relations in the Office of the Accountant General of the Federation, Bawa Mokwa, on Monday. Mokwa said the December allocation comprised statutory revenue of 1.084 trillion naira, distributable value-added tax, VAT, revenue of 846.507 billion naira, and electronic money transfer levy of 38.110 billion naira. Mokwa noted that gross revenue available in December was 2.585 trillion naira. He said of the 1.084 trillion distributable statutory revenue, the federal government received 520.807 billion naira and the state governments received 264.160 billion naira. The local government councils received 203.656 billion naira, while the sum of 96.083 billion, which is 13% of mineral revenue, was shared to the benefiting states as derivation revenue. And the Central Bank of Nigeria, CBN, has launched its FinTech Report, a comprehensive assessment of the country's fast-growing digital finance ecosystem. The report, released on Monday, built on insights from stakeholder surveys, closed-door workshops, and roundtables with fintech operators across the country. It captures candid feedback from industry players on innovation, regulation, and infrastructure, offering a snapshot of both the progress made and the bottlenecks holding the sector back as Nigeria's fintech industry matures. Commenting on the report, the CBN governor, Olayemi Kadoso, said digital finance has become a powerful force for economic participation, job creation, and improved livelihoods across Nigeria. He noted that Nigeria's fintech landscape has evolved rapidly over the past decade, growing a handful of startups into one of Africa's most vibrant innovation ecosystems, even amid global economic headwinds. The CBN governor explained that the findings highlight both progress and gaps, from modernizing regulatory frameworks and payments infrastructure to supporting startups in reaching unbanked communities, while also situating Nigeria's fintech journey within broader global trends. And away from Nigeria, the junta that seized power in Guinea-Bissau in a coup in November has vowed to bring the revolution PAIGC party into government and has released its leader, former Prime Minister Domingos Simios Pereira, though he remains under house arrest. The moves are an apparent attempt to appease the West African regional bloc ECOWAS, which has suspended Guinea-Bissau and demanded a quick transition to civilian rule. Army officers in Guinea-Bissau, branding themselves the military high command, toppled President Umaro Sissoko Embalo on November 26th and installed Major General Horta Inter as interim president the following day. The coup, the ninth in West and Central Africa in 5 years, disrupted presidential and legislative elections. In a letter addressed to ECOWAS and distributed to journalists over the weekend, Inter announced plans to form an inclusive transitional government that would allocate 3 ministerial portfolios to the PAIG, or the African Party for the Independence of Guinea and Cape Verde. And now for a quick check on the latest sports stories, I hand you over to Kabir Lawal for an update.
Nigerian champions Rivers United's campaign in the prestigious CAF Champions League suffered another setback as Power Dynamos inflicted 1-0 defeat on the country's representative at the Godswill Akpabio International Stadium in Uyo. A fluke goal came in the second half from Kondowani Chiboni was enough for the visitors. Once again, for host Rivers United, the issue of an important attack cost them dearly and all but sealed their elimination with 2 Group A matches to spare. As expected, the visitors from Zambia began with a focus on managing the game and preventing an early goal. Surprisingly, the first opportunity fell to them when an early cross from John Soko on the left wing found Dynamo's captain Prince Mbuba, who fired low and wide off the far post from a difficult angle on the left wing. The only real test Dynamo's keeper, William Mwanza, faced in the first half arrived in the 38th minute when he pushed away Wasiu Folalolu's long-range attempt. But the visitors were rewarded for their strong defensive performance in the first half with a 50-minute goal, following a corner kick. The ball came out of the right wing where Chipalo's cross took an awful bounce to sneak by Rivers goalkeeper Osage at the near post. Incompetence in finishing the department cost Rivers for the remainder of the match. A 57th minute header from Mbomo Chikozie caused Mwanza to spill the ball in front of his goal, but Stephen Manu slipped with goal begging and sent his rebound attempt far off target. One more chance arrived in stoppage time, but Mwanza closed down the angle and stood tall to deny from close range. Power Dynamos remain alive in Group A, but we now have to defeat reigning CAF Champions Cup champions RS Bekene when they host the Moroccan side in Ndola at the Levy Manu Stadium. Rivers will host group leaders and Champions League holders Pyramid FC in Uyo next week. That's Sport News. I am Kabir Lawal.
And with that, we've come to the end of News Hour on Trust TV tonight. Do not forget to follow us across all our media platforms and join our YouTube live stream for more news. I am Fatima Abbas Hassan. Thank you for watching. Do have a pleasant night rest.